If the Pokemon video didn't do it, this definitely will. Any doubts of me not being a degenerate will be buried alongside my dignity and hopes and dreams. This is a tier list, but this is not any tier list. No. This is a tier list on fanfiction tropes. Why? Well, because yeah, I have no excuse. I thought I would do this because why not? Full disclosure, I am still a wee little baby man when it comes to this. I'm not super involved. Nothing else to say. Let's just get into it. Lovers to enemies. I'm gonna have to put this in a depends on execution. I'm more of an enemies to lovers type guy myself, because I'm sure there are plenty of good fanfics that have that. Royalty AU. Instant no. I don't like most AUs, to be honest. It's partly why I left the Undertale community. Royalty AU, definitely not for me. Fluff. I would die for this trope. I hope anyone would die for this trope, to be honest, because it's nice. It makes you feel nice and warm inside. Pregnancy fic? No. Hurt, no comfort. Love it. I do love me a little bit of angst. Hana Haki. Oh. Yeah, I just looked this up, and this is going to have to be a no for me. It sounds stupid based on principle. Secretly dating. I'm gonna say like it. Not my favorite, but I'm not gonna knock a good old tryst. Canon divergence. I would die for this trope. Unarguably, objectively even, the best like AU trope. Really, because it's so pliable. You can do so much with it. Crossover. This is gonna have to be a no for me. Unless it's a crossover between two different shows that share canonicity with one another. Fake dating, huh? I'm gonna put that in depends on execution. That's not really an eye catcher to me. Oh shit. Almost just stabbed myself with a pair of scissors. That's cool. I'm not gonna immediately write off a fanfic if it has that tag on it, you know? Love triangle. Really depends on execution. It's so easy to make a love triangle cringe. I'm gonna approach with trepidation if I see that. Slow burn. One of my favorite tropes right there. I'll tell you that. I love slow burns. High school A. No. I am in high school, and I don't want to be there any more than I have to be. Heist fic. It's nothing too eye-catching or out of the ordinary, but it can be interesting. Angst. I would die for this trope. Again, I love angstiness. I love edginess. Now, I prefer my angst to be coupled with fluff at the end of it, but that's more of a personal thing. Detective AU. Depends on execution. Family also depends on execution. Dark fic. Love it. No. Actually, I'm gonna put this in I would die for this trope. I love things that are vulgar and crass and edgy. Major character death. I'm gonna put it in a like it. Not my preferred types of angst. Bodyguard. Depends on execution. Hurt, comfort. Yes. Top of highest tier. My favorite tag. Unhappy ending. Love it. Holiday fic. Really depends on execution. You can mess that up really badly if you aren't careful. Plus also, like, the holidays are cringe. I'm not a big fan of the holidays. Historical AU, it's a no for me, but higher than high school. Time loop. Love it. Time loops are cool. I was a fan of Groundhog Day. Sick fic. I love it. I'm not gonna say put it so high as to say it's that I would die for it. I definitely wouldn't die for it because I don't like being sick. Soulmate A. Hell no. Soulmate is one of the few things in this fandom that I have malicious intent with. Domesticity. I would die for it. Domesticity and fluff are very intertwined with one another, obviously. I love fluff, obviously. I'm going to love domesticity. Fix it. Depends on execution. A fix it fic can be really good, but there are some media that I just don't think needs a fix it fic. Before you ask, no, I'm not going to be telling you what you read, like fandoms I read from. That is between me and my God. Do you guys ever do that thing, whenever you're talking about something that you're super passionate about, you tear up a little bit? Because I do that, and it's making this video extremely difficult to record. Mutual pining. Yes, obviously. ABO. Not dead. Hold on. Yeah, this is where ABO and all of its fans belong. If I ever see this in a fanfic, Not only do I cross the figure, I cross the writer out as well. It's not happening. Enemies to lovers. Love it. College AU. Really depends on execution. It's sort of like the same thing as a high school AU, but to a lesser degree. Celebrity AU. No, definitely not. Sci-fi AU. I'm gonna put this in depends on execution. I really like sci-fi. I like it more than like regular fantasy. Bang or die. It's gonna be a no for me, dog. I don't like the implications of something like bang or die. Genfic. I would die for this trope. When I see Genfic, I know there's gonna be no BS that I don't care about. PWP. One of those words I'm not allowed to say. Or well, I shouldn't say, because YouTube's rules suck ass. I'm gonna say it really depends on execution. I don't get the appeal behind something like this. I just don't see it. You could say I'm a very visual learner, if you will. Drunken confession. Like it. It's pretty innocent. Nothing too bad about it. Western AU. Depends on execution. And fantasy AU really depends on execution. I don't know. I've just never been a big fan of like straight up fantasy. Established relationship. Love it. Obviously. I crave romance. Crackfic. Obviously, I would die for this. What's not to like about crack? Crackfics allow for writers to get a bit more creative with the material they're working with, and I like that. Babyfic. No. Babyfics are towing the line between it's a no for me and right in hell. I'm yet to see a babyfic that isn't cringe as hell. I am yet to see any OC for anything that doesn't have a cringe ass name. I don't know why, but some people are just unable to make good names for characters. Coffee shop AU, it's a no for me. I don't know why I don't like it, I just don't like it that much. However, it is better than all of the other AUs that are in this category. Hitman / Target, I like it. Yeah, nothing too interesting about it. Sharing a bed, depends on execution. I don't like embarrassment. It's definitely my least favorite emotion, especially when I'm reading it or seeing it. I just can't do it. It's a very hard thing for me to read, but it can be applied in ways that are, well, really well written. Kingfic. This is gonna go in no for me. Sex pawn, same thing. I just no. Mission / case fic. Where did I put detective crime? I mean, these are all really related to one another, so they should be put in the same place. Bookstore. That's definitely the same thing as like the coffee shop. Where the fuck are you? Put you there. Meet the family. I like it. I've read some good fanfics with this, but it suffers the same thing that sharing a bed does, in the sense that it's kind of I get secondhand embarrassment from it. Unrequited love. Love it. Love the angst that comes from it. And when it's really well done, it can be seriously heart-wrenching, so it's nice. Friends to lovers. Obviously, love it. One of my biggest hopes in life. Missing scenes. I like it. Again, there are some IPs that I don't think need them. So I guess that'll make it more of a depends on execution thing. Someone's gonna say that. There are some IPs I genuinely don't think need them. But when they're done, they can be pulled off in a way that is very good. Flower shop and tattoo artist. I don't know what that is. So it's just an AU. It's nothing too interesting. I'm gonna put it in depends on execution. It sounds corny, but I think it could be cute if done right. A painfully oblivious is gonna be a big no for me. Again, secondhand embarrassment. I couldn't do it. It's painfully oblivious. It's painful for me. 5+1. One of the more complicated ones. I really dig it. I think it's really unique and really enjoyable when I come across them. They're not common to find, but when I do enjoy them. Next, we got the Voldemort of this entire list. Rot in absolute hell. Gross, nasty. If you read it, you're weird, and I hate you. And if you make it, I also hate you. Unless you do it for money, and then I can kind of respect you. There's no words that can describe the grossness that is this thing that shall not be named. Near-death confession. I like it. Patching up wounds. I love it. No, not love. I would die for it, because again, it goes in hand with several of the other things that are in here. So it's sort of like a natural thing. Jealousy. No. Seeing people get jealous invigorates me in all of the wrong ways. I don't like jealous people as a whole, so I definitely couldn't just sit there. Idiots in love, I would die for this trope. If you don't die for this trope, I question your motives. It's what everyone should aspire to be honest. idiots in love. AI depends on execution. I don't really know what it means by that. If it means like an AI AU where the characters are robots, or if it was literally written by an AI. If it's the latter, then it's gonna be a no. But if it's the other, it's gonna be depends on execution. And they were roommates. I dig it. I really like it. Nothing wrong about it. Gender swap depends on execution, and that might be surprising for the people who are still watching this. Not one of my favorite rules on the internet. I'm just gonna say it's a personal preference thing. I mean, this entire list is personal preference. That's what tier lists are. Bully really depends on execution. I don't like tsunderes as like a character. Miscommunication, no. Actually, no. Really depends on execution, because I start feeling that secondhand embarrassment feeling set in. It's over. I'm not continuing to read it. Modern day, love it. I like it. Modern day is good. I like the modern day. I think like seeing various like fantasy things being brought in modern day is really cool and has like a fresh perspective. Grumpy and sunshine depends on execution. Body swap really depends on execution. Freaky Friday was one of the hardest movies for me to watch. This entire trope is just a literized version of that. Unless you got good writing chops, I'm not gonna dig it. Amnesia depends on execution. It can go either or for me, depending on how the story ends up. Puddle for Warmth, I dig it. Not my favorite, but I dig it. Arranged marriage, no, not my thing. I'm not gonna continue that sentence because that would have been racist. Well, not really, but whatever. Canon complaint. Our dinosaur for the show. I like canon complaint. See, X-Reader, Rotten Hell. Usually the least bad of these three, but I've not seen any of this that is good, and I doubt I ever will see any of that is good. If you use YN anywhere in your fic, you are deserving of death. That's all I had to say that. Fighting turned confession. I like it. I dig it. It's fairly innocent trope. Paranormal AU, no for me. XX lovers. Depends on execution. I have seen some good fics and some bad fics of that. And wow, that is all of it. Let this quash any doubts that you may have still had on me that you should be subscribed to me. Or actually, no, that you should be unsubscribing from me. Comment if anything you agree or disagree on in this list. Just know that this is objectively the most correct list you'll ever see. See you later, nerds. I can't hold